Where's that presentation you need for your boss? Slack? Email? Drive? Lost, like your sanity, after wasting hours searching 76 tabs. Your work tools shouldn't take so much work. Dropbox Dash finds what you need fast across all your work apps, so you can focus on what matters. Spend less time searching, more time creating. Learn more at dropbox.com/dash.
2, 1. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Junior Golf Podcast. I'm your host, Ro Thompson. In the building, we got none other than the great Chase Whittle. How you doing, Chase?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having me on.
Good, good. Hey, Chase, do me a favor. Turn your phone sideways.
Okay.
Turn the landscape for me. There we go. There we go. That's better. All right, man. Well, good to have you on tonight. Man, you're doing some incredible things right now. I was looking at your resume, and I saw where I think you had won. You came in second at the Donald Ross back in December.
Yes, sir.
That was a big one. Was it cold up there?
It was freezing.
It
Yeah.
was
And it
freezing.
rained a little bit. So,
Yeah, we try to stay away from those cold weather tournaments. And I think you finished first in the Bobby D. That's down in isn't that down in Goose Creek?
Crowfield. Yeah.
Yeah, Crowfield. Right, right, right. And then you finished first in the 3A state championship. And I think y'all won the state title as a team, right?
Yes, sir.
Good, good. And then you just finished first in the Harold Varner Queen City Junior. Man, that had to feel awesome.
I played really well that week, so it was a fun tournament.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you were on fire, man. I mean, so we'll get into that in just a little bit. But so man, talk to us about the beginning. What was the beginning like? How did you get into golf? What attracted you to golf? Give us that backstory on how that came about.
So I used to play baseball growing up my whole life, me and my brother both. And during around like COVID when we were online school, I just started playing with some of my baseball buddies for fun. And I kind of just fell in love with it. I started playing more and more. And then I got a little bit competitive with it, and then I kind of just stopped playing baseball and just started playing golf. And that was probably about 3.5 years ago.
So you've only been playing golf for 3 years?
3.5 since competitively, probably since eighth grade.
Since eighth grade. Okay. But man, you've developed pretty fast. But what I've always noticed is that when you have a baseball background, you always, you can kind of convert to golf pretty easy. What was the hardest transition that you had to overcome when you switched from baseball to golf?
Definitely the lower half in the swing, because
Okay.
in baseball, the lower half fires first, and in golf, it's the other way around. You want to keep it as quiet as possible. So that was probably the hardest part, and also just going from a team sport to an individual sport is just all on you. So
Yeah. Yeah, there's nobody to coach you, and you got to overcome your emotions. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. But what have you seen as you've been on this journey for 4 years. What have you seen as the most challenging part of the journey, and what have you been doing to improve on that part of the challenge?
hmm, I'd say the most challenging part is just that golf, you can go out there one week and be on fire, and then the next week your game feel the exact same and just be off all the way around. But you just go out there and put the work in, and then the outcome will kind of just come for itself. That's all you can do. You can't
Right.
really control the outcome, but you can go out to the course and practice as much as you can, and hopefully it goes uphill from there.
Good, good, good. And you've been, had a pretty good year so far this year. And what do you feel like you've been putting the most work in? Your short game, your irons, or off tee shots? What have you been
I'd
concentrating on the
say
most?
definitely my short game, because one thing I've definitely learned is you can go out there and have an off ball striking day, but you should always be able to rely on your short game to save your round, because you're going to go out there and have an off day, but you should always be able to rely on your short game. So I definitely have been focusing in on that to save some of the bad ball striking days and keep the score as low as possible with
There
the
you,
putter.
there you go. So what's your practice routine? You get to the course. What do you typically do first, and then what do you lead into after that?
So, yeah, so it's nice with our school. We get out at lunchtime, so
Oh, nice. Yeah.
I can get out of school and just go to the course. And I'm a big on course person. Like I think I get the most results out of just going and practicing on the course. Like I'd much rather go and just play 9 holes by myself and play 2 or 3 balls on a hole
Okay.
than go to the range and beat 100 balls. I'll go to the range just to keep my swing dialed in, toss down an alignment stick, make sure the setup is probably the most important thing with me. But I really just try to get out on the course as much as I can.
Good, good. So you're more of a on course practice person
Yeah,
versus
for sure.
doing a bunch of drills. Now, of course, drills are a part of the game. What's your favorite drill to do?
My favorite drill is probably um, to work on my takeaway. The
Okay.
biggest thing I work on in my swing is just making sure my setup's perfect, and then just the first part of my takeaway, I put an alignment stick in the ground behind me to make sure it just stays on plane. It doesn't get too far out or too far in. That's probably one of the only drills I do when it comes to the swing.
Okay, good, good, good. And when you think about your journey, Chase, what's been the best advice that you've ever received when it comes to your golf game?
Definitely just eliminate double bogey. That's definitely the best advice I received. Definitely for tournament play. Just make your decisions to just take double bogey out of play because
Yeah,
bogeys aren't going to kill you. You can get those back with birdies, but
right.
doubles are what start making the round go downhill. So just take those out of play.
Yeah, I'm sure when you played in the Harold Varner, you probably didn't have any doubles that weekend, did
No, no, I didn't.
you? Right. I know you remember that. Good, good. So let's talk a little bit about the mental part of the game. A lot of people say the mental part of the game is like 90% of the game. How do you manage your emotions, after a bad shot, after a tough round? Uh, do you have a mental coach? But first of all, how do you handle the mental part of the game?
I would say for me, that's definitely one of my strengths. I don't think that out on the course I get too down on myself or frustrated, and I definitely try to not show it. Um, But it's the same other way around if I'm playing really good, like I'm not out there. You I don't think you'd be able to tell watching me if I was 4 under or 5 or 6 over. I definitely think I just stay pretty even kill. I don't get super excited or I don't get super frustrated.
Good.
Like at that Harold Varner tournament, my friend was watching me on the 18th green. He said when I finished the hole, he didn't know whether to clap or not because he wasn't sure if I won.
Right. Okay. Good, good. So that's pretty good. So you don't really get into slamming clubs and
No,
taking
definitely,
your
definitely
no.
not in tournaments because
Okay.
that'll just stress you out for your next shot. You just gotta worry about how to take double out of play, like I said.
That's it. Yeah, that's the key. Taking those doubles out of place. And so I'm sure there are times on the course where you might get a little nervous during tournaments. How do you handle your nerves when it's time to hit a crucial shot or make a big putt?
I just make sure to go through my full routine, not skip anything. Because I try to just go through the same routine through every shot, and I just take a couple deep breaths before I step up to the ball or address the ball, and then after that, I just try to take a good swing, and whatever happens is what happens. But just make sure I go through my routine and just take a couple deep breaths if it's a little more important than a different shot.
That's good. That's good. That's really important. That's one of the best advice that someone's ever given me. Before every shot, take at least two deep breaths before every shot. And so
Yeah,
that's
can
great
be the
that you look into
difference
that.
coming down the stretch.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. So, so when you're talking about building that confidence, and shooting that walk us through because I think you finished at 9 under, right?
Right.
Talk about a little bit about getting into red numbers and keeping it there because a lot of people, a lot of junior golfers, they get into the red numbers, but they don't maintain it. They
Right.
give it back on the back nine. They get to 13, 14, and they'll hit one out of bounds. And you know, talk about your thinking as you get towards the end of the round to keep those big numbers off your scorecard.
So for me, I think it's good to go out your home course, play a couple tees up, try to get low into the red numbers, get used to it.
Mhm.
Because if you get out in a tournament and you're 3 or 4 under and you haven't been that deep before, it can definitely get pretty nerve wracking. And that's happened to me before. And
Mhm.
you can make a few bogeys and just start stressing about the scorecard. So I think that it's just best to try to not look at the leaderboard and just make it to the clubhouse, just finish your round and not try to force birdies or go deeper because if you're playing good that day, then the birdies will just come.
Right. So Chase, what you're essentially saying, and I hear you. What I hear you saying is that it's okay to hit from the upper tees, right? Just
Yeah,
to,
I
just to
think
build
so.
that
I mean,
confidence, because a lot of junior golfers they don't want to hit that. They want to hit from the furthest.
yeah,
They want to play from the furthest back, tee and let it see what happens. And when they shoot a bad number, they're like, ah,
right.
they get kind of frustrated. So how often would you say you play up? Do you do it once a week or once a month or once every two? How do you
I would say
implement that into your practice
me
schedule?
and me and my dad will go out on the golf course and
Okay.
play all the way up to sometimes even the red tees,
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
once a month or every other month, just to
Okay.
just see how low you can go and just see if you can maintain it. Because
Okay.
it's especially going into a tournament, it's a good confidence booster and it's a good way to work on your wedges. So
Yeah. Yeah. Because when you go up to those red tees, you can't hit driver every time, right?
right.
Right. Good. Good. All right. So let's talk about some future plans. When it comes to your golfing goals, what are some long-term and short-term goals that you have?
So long terms, obviously, to play golf in college. That's a
Mhm.
big goal of mine. Definitely a
Good.
dream
Good.
to go continue playing golf in college. And I'd say a short term goal
Hmm.
is to win another tournament before the end of the year. Just keep the momentum up going
Yeah.
into the school year. So I got a pretty good few tournaments coming up. So go out there and get another win is definitely a goal.
Oh yeah. I'm sure you're gonna have plenty of tournaments coming up, you know, for sure, for sure. So so that's why I hear you are considering college golf. That's awesome, man. That is awesome. So how do you balance, Chase, education? Because education is important. How do you
Right.
balance golf and school?
For me, it's probably a little different than some other kids in high school because like I said, I go to school like tomorrow, for example. I'm going to school and get out at 10:30, so makes it a little bit easier to balance school and golf.
Right.
So I've the rest of the day to just knock out whatever schoolwork I have of the day and then just head to the golf course. So
Mhm.
that definitely helps. It's a big I think Oceanside's a big factor of gotten better quickly. Just spend as much time at the golf course as you can and you have the whole day to do it.
That's right, for sure, for sure. And so, again, you've been kind of playing, for about the last almost 4 years of junior golf. What would you what would you tell your younger self now that some of the things that you've learned? What would you tell your younger self in terms of getting better, not getting so frustrated? What would you tell your younger self?
Definitely that course management is a lot more important than I realized back
Right.
when I first started playing. Um,
Say that again. Did you say course management?
yeah, course
Okay.
management for sure.
Right. Right.
Take that pretty seriously as
Good.
early as you can because that can be the difference between making a par or a bogey and making a double or a triple. And just
That's-
saving shots throughout the course with decisions is always just losing shots on the course off a bad decision just never feels good. So
All right.
um,
So Chase,
control what you can.
all right, let's talk about course management for a minute. When you expand on course management, what do you mean uh saving strokes? So let's say you hit a bad tee shot, left or right, right? Um, there's a possibility that you could get it to the green. You got trees overhead, the lie's not that great. Tell me what Chase would do.
That definitely depends on the circumstance, I guess, but
Right.
that's definitely one where you contemplate trying to hit that punch shot through the trees and get it to the green or just knock it out sideways and try
Yeah.
to get up and down. And I spend a lot of time on my wedges just to try to be able to trust that I can get up and down from inside 100 yards if I need to, or just give myself the best chance. And learning now, like this summer, really specifically playing major golf and some harder courses and harder conditions, um, just doing anything you can just to get those doubles out of play and just trust your wedge game, really. That's why I spent a bunch of time on my wedges.
Yeah. How long would you say you spend on your wedges, Chase?
If I go to the range, I probably hit at least half the bucket with my wedges. Just work on 100 yards and in,
Okay. That's good.
and then I
Good.
hit
Good.
a bunch of drivers, and then I do the rest of my work on the course.
Okay. Good. 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 All right. So let's have some fun, Chase. You ready to have some fun?
Let's do it.
Hopefully those questions weren't too stressful, right?
Nah,
Oh, good, good, good. So would you rather hit every fairway or two putt? Every green.
two putt.
You rather two putt?
Definitely two putt.
All right. Why you say that?
I feel like over the course of your golf career, I think that you would lose more strokes on three putts than you would missing fairways. Because you can go out there and hit work on driver every day. I think that'd be a lot easier to perfect than making every 5 footer you have in front of you for your par.
Right. Okay. Good deal. All right. So if you could choose to play around the golf with any professional golfer, past or present, who would it be and why?
I'd have to say Tiger Woods. I mean,
Okay.
he was my favorite golfer growing up and the greatest of all time, in my opinion. So I'd love to play around with him.
Good. Good. Now, why's Tiger your favorite?
Growing up, I didn't watch golf too much when I played baseball, but when I did, it was always saw Tiger Woods up there. So he just started being my favorite, and then I really like his swing. So he's him and Scheffler are my two favorites for
Oh,
sure.
him and Scheffler. Okay, yeah, Scheffler's tearing it up right now. I think he's gonna probably win East Lake. Who you predict win East Lake this weekend?
I'm not sure. I mean, with how Scheffler's been playing, it's kind of hard not to say him, but that might be a boring answer, but it'd be I don't think I'd bet against him.
Okay, yeah, it's hard to bet against him right now. I mean, when you look at his last 13 starts, I don't think he finished. I don't think he's finished outside of the top 10.
Yeah, and I think he has like a bunch of wins too, 4 or 5.
Right, right, right. He's killing right now. And if you could reflect back on your golf career, your short golf career, what's been one of your most memorable shots you've ever hit?
My most memorable shot. Oh, okay. The SCJGA four ball. I was playing with my best friend Reed
Yeah.
Cook,
Oh, Reed
and
Cook. Yeah. Let's shout out to Reed.
shout out to Reed.
Yeah.
And I made a hole in one while we were and we were playing pretty solid. So that was some pretty good momentum. We went on to make a couple more birdies after that. So it was pretty cool. It was my first hole in one. So I had it with
Wow.
him on my team. So that was pretty sweet.
All right, where'd you hit that hole in one at?
That was at, oh, what's that golf course called? I can't remember the golf course. I know it was 148 yards and it was a downhill par three. Landed
Okay.
right behind it and spun back a couple feet into the hole. So definitely my favorite shot I've hit.
All right, good deal, good deal. All right, so let's play a little episode we call Rapid Fire.
All
Driver
right,
or putter?
driver,
Favorite tour player? We already know
Scheffler,
Scheffler. Dream foursome.
Tiger Woods, Happy Gilmore, and my dad.
Have you seen Happy Two?
I have, yeah, I
Okay,
liked it. It was a good movie.
good, good. Walk or ride?
Ride,
Right. On-course snack.
peanut butter crackers,
Okay. On-course drink.
yellow Gatorade,
Okay. Favorite golf movie?
Happy Gilmore too. I like that movie. That was a good one.
Yeah. Favorite golf course?
Paynes Valley.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
I've played
Good.
that one a couple times. I really like that one.
Okay. That's out in is it Missouri or
Missouri, yep.
Missouri? Yeah, yeah, good, good, good. Yeah, we haven't made it out there yet, but I'm pretty sure we will at some point.
Yeah, it's a good
Um,
one to go to.
good, good. Favorite golf tournament?
My favorite one this year was probably the high school national championship. That was a fun one to get
Yeah,
the team together in the summer.
right, right. And you didn't play too bad in that tournament, right?
No, it wasn't two over through 3 days.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. Yeah,
it
it was
was
big
I think
3 day
like
tournament.
40th out of 350 or something like that. It
Yeah,
wasn't it
that was
wasn't
a
too bad.
super, super huge field, right?
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was a big field.
that was a big field. Right, right, right. Well, listen, Chase, how can our audience find you on social media?
My Instagram for golf is Chase Whittle 27. That's where all my golf stuff gets posted, my tournaments and my schedule and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, good, good. Well, Chase, man, we appreciate you jumping on tonight. Any parting shouts for any aspiring junior golfers? What would you say to them as we get ready to wrap up the episode tonight?
Just keep putting in work and don't focus too much on the outcome because all you can do is just go out there and practice. And if you grind, then the outcomes will come. You just have to keep putting in the work.
Right, right. Well, good deal, man. Well, listen, we appreciate you being on tonight. Good luck the rest of the year. You're having an amazing year. I see your rankings going up, 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 and up.
Yes,
So
sir. Thank
keep
you. Thanks
keep
for having
doing
me on.
keep doing what you're doing.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome.